Hello, welcome to the land of Kakiak. My name is Laurel. Today's video is a recipe video. I am making chicken enchiladas. I am teaching a few recipes to my freshman this year to complement his PE course. I just think it's important that people can cook for themselves and get familiar around the kitchen. So tonight is chicken enchiladas. And I was just gathering up our ingredients. We've got tortillas, green onions, sliced olives, diced green chilies, a family size can of cream of chicken. I've got some baked chicken breasts, like 5 of them that I actually baked yesterday, a pound of pepper jack cheese, and some sour cream. I like to get everything out at once. I will tell you what I season my chicken with because I always make my chicken the same way. I always use I bake it in a glass baking dish with olive oil, and then I season everything with kosher salt, pepper, garlic powder, onion powder, and paprika, and just on both sides. And I bake it for 30 minutes at 400 degrees. And I'm one of those people who likes to season like every single layer of a recipe. I don't like wait till the end to put all my seasoning in. I like to season each ingredient separately. So the chicken's already seasoned. That's going in here. That's what's on it. And then I'm always reminding my son to clean as you go, because for me the goal is to have the kitchen already reset by the time like dinner is served. I don't like to have to come back in and clean after dinner. We have to do like dishes and wipe off the table and that kind of stuff after dinner. I just don't want to have all this extra work to do. I just want everyone to be able to go in, clean off their plate and silverware, load the dishwasher and go to bed. And I don't want to have to go back in there after dinner if possible. Okay, next we're gonna put in that cream of chicken soup, just the way that it is. Get the big can or maybe 2 of the small cans. This is actually gonna make quite a bit of enchiladas. One of the big cans of the diced green chilies. This is just like the Walmart, generic brand. This is one of those recipes that I've never had anybody not like it. Make sure you drain those olives before you throw them in. And then for the sour cream, I kind of eyeball it. I just kind of do a little bit less than my cream of chicken. So I'm guessing about 1.5 cups. I really like sour cream, so I like a lot. But even like Everett, my oldest, he actually hates sour cream, won't eat it at all, but he loves this recipe. All right, and then I'm gonna add my green onions in. I actually made chicken enchiladas a couple days ago. I'm making them again because somebody had a baby, and this is like one of those dishes, like I said, people always like it. So I already had some green onions, so I'm gonna use up the rest of them. Oh, and Bo, he just joined me in the kitchen. He's putting stickers on his helmet. I just thought I would show you what else was going on in the house. Okay, so dice up those green onions. And now I'm not a professional chef or anything, so if I don't have the best technique, sorry. This is just how I actually cut things. And again, like I really love green onions, so you can do more or less depending on your taste, but they're very mild. They don't come across really strong, but I miss them when they're not in the recipe. I've tried it without, so I prefer it with. And of course, I'm like always rinsing things off in between. All those cans, I put them straight into the sink and started filling them up with water because I want them to be just ready to go to get thrown straight into the garbage here soon. And I filled up that's the dish that the chicken was in with some soapy water, so I can just start throwing dirty things in there that need to soak maybe a little longer, like my spatula and stuff like that. Okay, so we've got a pound of pepper jack cheese, and it's not, I don't know, my kids don't seem to mind it, but some kids might think it's a little spicy, so I don't know. We don't have a problem with it. Maybe different brands are spicier than others, but this is just the Great Value brand from Walmart. So yeah, I'm just gonna shred it up. I'm gonna pretty much use the whole thing in this recipe, the whole pound, except I'm gonna hold back maybe like 1 cup worth to put over the top at the end. I always end up with a little nub like that at the end that I couldn't quite shred. And I always give it to the dog. He comes and he waits. He just watches me while I cook to see what little tidbit he gets. When I make this, he gets the little last corner of cheese. All right, so just mix everything up with a nice big spoon. This takes, a little while, so it should end up looking like this. And then grab your baking dish. I like a big glass one. I wouldn't know what the times were for cooking and stuff. It's not glass, so I only can give you the times for glass. So I usually roll everything up in a full-size tortilla. I didn't have enough. I only had like 4 of them left. But I still had some small tortillas left over from like a previous night, something else we made. So I'm just gonna try my best. I'll show you, this is how I roll them normally. And then I'll just do the best that I can with the smaller tortillas. I actually thought maybe it'd work out better because the littles usually can't eat a full enchilada. I usually split one for them. And so I thought this time I'll just give them the little ones and see if that is the right amount of food for them. And I kind of stack them up against each other. They're kind of holding each other closed. They're kind of like an envelope. So they kind of hold each other closed. And then you're going to see me try to figure out how to do a small one. I've never done a small one with this before. I was like, I couldn't really figure out how to close it. So I just kind of rolled it and left it open at the ends. And it actually stayed together okay. Because when you bake it, it all melts together and kind of helps it stay closed once you put it in the oven. So it wasn't really a big deal. And then I scooted them all over to one side so I could squeeze in like 2 more on the side. And then I'm just gonna take that held back cheese and sprinkle it over the top generously. You can also put a little bit of that filling that's in the bowl. You could also just put a little bit of filling on the top. Sometimes I do that. And then I'm gonna pop it into the oven. Make sure it's right in the middle. Okay, it was preheated to 350. And we're gonna put it in there for half an hour. And then of course, while it's going, I'm gonna take this opportunity to put away as much stuff as I can. It really doesn't take you that long to clean up after yourself. So I timed it. It'll tell you at the end how long it took me to put all my stuff in the dishwasher, clear up my sink. Of course, I want to like wipe down my cabinets and stuff like that. Oh, no, my cabinets are my counters. Oh yeah, I put away the leftovers. I could have done like another pan worth of enchiladas, but I decided that I would just make them again tomorrow. And so I think they're better, fresh than reheated. So it's all pre-made for me now. So tomorrow, all I'll have to do is, roll them up in my little tortillas, since that's all I have, and put them in the oven, and I'll have another batch of enchiladas ready for tomorrow. And since they're a family favorite around here, everybody was fine. They don't mind eating enchiladas 2 nights in a row. And, I didn't put any raw meat or anything. So usually I would let the soap sit for like 10 minutes on the cutting board, but yeah, everything was cooked or, just like green onions. So I wasn't worried about it too much. So I just rinsed it off. And learning to clean up after yourself, washing up properly and resetting the kitchen, to me is like just as important or almost as important as learning how to make the food. I'm like, don't even tell my kids, don't even go in the kitchen. Don't even look at the kitchen if you're going to make a mess and leave it. I don't know how many times I've like got the kitchen all clean and completely reset, and then somebody came in there to make a snack, right? And it's like a giant mess. I'm about reset here. They're still working on decorating their helmets over there. Now, William's over there. They're really into skateboarding lately, so we just got them those helmets to wear while they're skateboarding. Their older brother Everett sweetly gave them a bunch of stickers he had, some like Fallout stickers. That's my waste bowl. I was telling Everett, like he's filming me, I always put the waste bowl on top of the cutting board so that the cat won't get up on my cutting board. Okay, I just showed you there's 25 minutes left to cook. So that means I did all that cleaning. That only took me 5 minutes. So then for the next 25 minutes, I just went outside. I'm enjoying this little homemade ramp the boys made. We're working on the house, and so there's some extra wood around right now. And so they built themselves a little ramp in the front yard. And they've been doing this all day. So we enjoyed our time outside. And then 25 minutes later, I pulled these out. This is how they look. And then I'm gonna serve them up. I'm gonna show you also at the end my recipe card I made for Everett. Usually I would have him do it, since this is kind of like part of his assignment when I teach him a new recipe, is he makes the recipe card and puts it into his PE notebook. I'll show you what that looks like. But I just went ahead and made it myself for this video for the sake of handwriting, and so that you could actually like read it. You might want to like stop the video if you like this recipe and want to try it and write it down. So here it is. I'm just using those large index cards, and there's the ingredient list and the instructions. It's pretty simple. I will say, it takes a little while to assemble everything. I would expect about 20 minutes to assemble everything if you already have, baked chicken ready to go, or whatever chicken. I hope that was helpful. If you try it, come back and let me know if you like it. Bye.